They're all fired and the janitor promoted," says the disguised billionaire CEO after being humiliated. Richard Hayes adjusted his worn-out baseball cap for the third time that morning. His hands, used to the feel of Montblanc pens and steering wheels of imported luxury cars, now shook as he clutched a fake ID badge. At 38 years old, the billionaire CEO of Hayes Corporation was about to do something his social class would call insane. "You sure about this, Richard?" Mike, his personal assistant of 10 years, held a folder with documents. "You know you could just hire auditors, right? Auditors show me what people want me to see." Richard glanced in the car mirror. Stubbly beard, simple clothes, real bags under his eyes from a sleepless night. Unrecognizable. "My dad always said a leader who doesn't know his troops is just a tyrant with a fancy title." "Your dad was a wise man." "He was. And I've spent 38 years disappointing him." Richard's voice carried an old sadness. 15,000 employees, Mike. 15,000 people who depend on my decisions, and I don't know a single one of them. Not one. Mike's phone buzzed. The spots confirmed. Maintenance Department, Elite Plaza Mall Branch. "Your supervisor will be, interesting." "What?" "Maurice Taylor. The regional manager." Richard frowned. "The son-in-law of the late VP Carter?" "That's him. According to official reports, his branch is the most profitable. According to other rumors, it's also the most toxic." "Perfect place to start then." Richard opened the car door, a borrowed old Honda Civic, no Mercedes. "Call me only for emergencies." "And Mike? If I ask for your help before 3 months are up, you can call me a coward." "Good luck, boss." "Or rather, good luck, Richard Silva." The employee entrance to Hayes Corporation at Elite Plaza Mall was in the back, between dumpsters and a wall with peeling paint. Richard, now Richard Silva, the new maintenance guy, followed the flow of people. "First time here, kid?" He turned. A black woman in her 50s, hair pulled into a simple bun, spotless janitor uniform despite its age, smiled at him. Her eyes had that glow of someone who's seen a lot but hasn't lost her kindness. "Yeah, ma'am. Starting today. Call me Loretta, okay? Everybody here's family. Or at least we try to be." She extended her hand. "Welcome." Her handshake was firm, honest. Richard found himself wondering when someone last greeted him without ulterior motives. "You'll see, there's good folks here. But there's also, well, you'll find out soon enough." Loretta glanced at the wall clock. 5:30 a.m. "I got here too early again." "Shift doesn't start till 7? "It does. But good work takes extra time. My mom always said, Loretta, character ain't measured by what they pay you, but by what you deliver." She laughed. "I'm kinda old-fashioned, huh? Nobody thinks like that anymore." Before Richard could respond, the door burst open. "Loretta. What the hell are you still doing in the break room?" A man in an expensive suit, around 45, stormed in. Slick back hair, strong cologne, a permanent look of superiority on his face. Maurice Taylor in the flesh. "Good morning, Mr. Taylor. I was just wasting time. The conference room is a disgrace. I've got important visitors at 8, and I want it spotless. Now." "Yes, sir. Right away." "And you?" Maurice pointed at Richard. "New guy?" "Yes, sir. Richard Silva, maintenance." "Humph. Another deadbeat needing a job." He eyed Richard up and down with disdain. "Here, you work, got it? No slacking, no begging for favors, no whining about rights. Hard labor, shut mouth. Understand?" Richard clenched his fists but kept his voice calm. Yes, sir. Good. Doug will give you your tasks. And take a shower before you start, you stink like poverty. Maurice walked out laughing at his own joke. Loretta touched Richard's arm gently. Breathe, kid. Breathe. He's like that with everybody. This is normal. Around here, it is. She sighed. Come on, I'll show you your locker. And don't pay him no mind. You don't smell like anything, he just doesn't know the scent of real hard-working folks. As he followed Loretta through the dimly lit back corridors, Richard mentally noted every leaky ceiling pipe, every burned-out bulb, every missing safety guard. The company's most profitable branch. Of course. He didn't know it yet, but that decision to infiltrate his own company was about to change not just his life, but the fate of hundreds of people. And the first run-in with Maurice Taylor was just the beginning of something much bigger. Could you keep your cool if someone humiliated you like that on your first day? Or have you been through something similar and know exactly how Richard felt in that moment? The first weeks were a brutal immersion into a reality Richard never imagined existed within his own companies. Silva. You deaf? Doug, the operations coordinator, a skinny guy with wire-rimmed glasses and a perpetually pissed-off look, slammed the desk. I said it 3 times, the executive bathroom needs new plumbing. Today. But I'm not a plumber, Mr. Doug. I'm general maintenance. So what? Learn. YouTube's right there for that, ain't it? Doug tossed a box of rusty tools at Richard's feet. And if you screw it up and flood the place, the cost comes out of your paycheck. Got it? Richard stared at the corroded tools. But what? Wanna get canned in your first month? Let me help him out. Loretta's voice came from the hallway. My late husband was a plumber. I know the basics. Doug rolled his eyes. Always sticking your nose where it don't belong, Loretta. One day that's gonna cost you. He stormed out, slamming the door. Loretta knelt beside Richard. Come on, kid. I'll show you. And don't use those tools, they're junk. I got a better kit in my locker. You bought your own tools? Had to. The ones they give you can't even open a can. She laughed without humor. But don't tell anybody. Technically, you're not supposed to bring your own. But it's impossible to work with theirs, so. As they worked together in the bathroom, Loretta explaining each step with the patience he'd never gotten even from top tutors, Richard learned more about her. How many kids you got, Loretta? 3. Mark's 28, married, gave me 2 beautiful grandkids. July. IA's 22, finishing up her education degree. And then there's Amanda, my baby. 16 years old. Her face lit up. Amanda's special, you know? Smart as a whip. Straight A's, wants to be a doctor. You must be real proud. I am. It's hard work, but seeing my kids grow up right, it's worth every drop of sweat. She tightened a pipe. There. Twist that valve for me. Richard obeyed. No leaks. See? Teamwork. Loretta smiled. That's how it is here, Richard. We help each other, 'cause up top. She pointed to the ceiling, meaning the management offices, nobody looks down. Just then, Loretta's phone rang. She answered quickly. Hello? Julia? Calm down, honey, calm down. What? When? Her face paled. I'll try. Yeah. Stay calm. Love you. She hung up with shaking hands. Loretta? Everything okay? It's Amanda. She's in the hospital. Passed out at school. Tears welled up. I gotta go, but I've already missed 2 days this month helping Julia. If I miss again. Go. I'll cover for you. No, Richard. You don't know my full routine. If Maurice finds out, I'll figure it out. Go take care of your girl. Loretta hugged him quick and tight. God bless you, kid. Covering Loretta's shift was eye-opening. Richard cleaned bathrooms, emptied trash cans, mopped miles of hallways. By noon, he was wiped out. Well, look at the new guy turning into a jack-of-all-trades. Patricia, the HR supervisor, a blonde in high heels and perfect red nails, stopped next to him in the hall. What dedication. Or stupidity, right? Just helping a coworker. Coworker? She laughed. Honey, there ain't no teamwork here. There's jobs. Her job's cleaning. Yours is fixing. Don't mix them. But she had a family emergency. And what do I care? Patricia checked her nails. Look, free advice, don't get attached to the staff here. Turnover's high. Folks like Loretta, they're temps. She'll be gone soon, like all of them. Stick to your job and that's it. She started to walk away, but Richard couldn't hold back. What if it was you? If your kid was in the hospital? Patricia stopped, turned slowly. I don't have kids. And if I did, I'd have the means for decent insurance, not relying on Medicaid. Know why? 'Cause I studied. 'Cause I hustled. People like Loretta, well, you reap what you sow, don't you? Richard felt rage boiling. She's worked here 18 years. And she'll work 18 more the same way if she doesn't change her attitude. Now excuse me. Unlike you, I got real work to do. Loretta came back the next day, eyes red but determined. How's Amanda? Richard asked as soon as he saw her. They ran some tests. Results next week. She forced a smile. Thanks for yesterday. Doug didn't complain? He did. Said I messed up 3 bathrooms. Oh Lord. I'm sorry. Relax. I actually learned a lot. Richard smiled. Want a coffee? I grabbed some from the corner shop. Diner coffee? Her eyes lit up. Fancy. Yeah, I'll take it. They sat in a hidden back corner where employees took unauthorized breaks. You know, Richard, you're different. Loretta sipped the coffee. Most new folks here either kiss Morris's ass to survive or bolt in 2 weeks. And you? How do you put up with it? She went quiet for a moment. I need the money. Bills, kids to raise. But it ain't just that. She looked around at the building. Sounds silly, but I like working. I like leaving things clean and organized. There's satisfaction in that, you know? Seeing the place shine and knowing you did it. It ain't silly. And besides, there's good people here. You, for instance. Old Joe from security. Mrs. Vera in the break room. We make our own family. Small, kinda dysfunctional. She laughed, but family. Richard's walkie-talkie crackled. Silva. Conference room, now. There's a leak. It was Doug's irritated voice. Gotta go. Go on. And Richard? She touched his arm. Thanks. For real. It's been a while since anybody cared like that. As he ran to the conference room, Richard realized something disturbing. The company he'd built, well, inherited, was fostering an environment where kindness was weakness and cruelty was efficiency. He didn't know yet that things were about to get a whole lot worse. The real test was still coming. If you could change one thing about your workplace, would it be how people treat each other? Or is that asking too much in a world where results trump humanity? The news hit on a rainy Monday. Richard was changing bulbs on the third floor when he saw Loretta rushing out of HR, hands over her face, clearly crying. "Loretta!" He bolted down the stairs. "What happened?" She leaned against the wall, trying to breathe. "Amanda. The tests. She has leukemia, Richard." The world seemed to stop. "The doctors say there's treatment, but..." Her voice broke. "Medicaid's got an 8-month wait list." 8 months. My girl doesn't have 8 months. Richard held her shoulders. "Easy. We'll figure it out. The company health plan. I tried. Just went to HR, Patricia said my basic plan doesn't cover dependents under 18 for cancer treatments. Only the premium does. And to upgrade." She sobbed, "You need Morris's approval. Then we'll talk to him." "I did. He laughed." Richard laughed. "Said I should have read the fine print before signing up. That it ain't his problem if I didn't plan right." The rage Richard felt then was unlike anything he'd experienced. Not the cool anger of boardrooms. This was personal. Gut-wrenching. "How much is private treatment?" $200,000. "Where am I gonna get 200 grand? She slid down the wall. "I've worked here 18 years. 18 years, Richard. Never asked for nothing. Never missed without reason. Never complained about unpaid overtime. And now when I need..." Richard knelt beside her. "You try for a bank loan?" Denied. "Minimum wage ain't enough collateral." She wiped her eyes. "Gonna sell the house. It's small, but might fetch 100 grand. With some payday loans, I can scrape the rest. My mom always said you can rebuild a house, but a kid's irreplaceable." "Loretta. No." She stood, wiping her face with resolve. "I ain't breaking. Amanda needs me strong. I'll make it work. Always do." But Richard saw the fear behind the forced bravery. She was terrified. That afternoon, Maurice called a staff meeting. Everyone crammed into the tight cafeteria. "Folks, big announcement." Maurice beamed. "Our branch hit quarterly targets again. 15% over goal." Some polite claps. "And as a reward for everyone's hard work." He paused dramatically. "Management gets a 40% salary bonus." Silence. "Management?" Someone muttered in the back. "Yeah. Me, Patricia, Doug, and Sylvia. After all, we're the ones keeping this machine running, right?" He laughed. "Oh, and important, we're cutting costs on benefits. Starting next month, meal vouchers down 20%, basic health plan no longer covers more than 2 dependents, and overtime only paid if approved in writing 48 hours ahead." But Mr. Maurice. Old Joe, the senior security guard, raised a shaky hand. "I got 4 kids. How am I gonna..." "Should have thought of that before having so many, Joe. Family planning, ever heard of it?" Maurice waved him off dismissively. "Next." "And overtime?" Mrs. Vera from the cafeteria asked. "Sometimes you ask us to stay late on the spot. How we gonna get 48 hours notice?" "You don't." Simple. If I say stay, it's your job, not overtime. He crossed his arms. Any more relevant questions? Loretta raised her hand, voice shaky but steady. Mr. Maurice, about the health plan, my daughter's been diagnosed with leukemia. Can you make an exception? Just till her treatment. Exception? Maurice laughed loud. You think this company's a charity, Loretta? Rules are rules. If your plan don't cover it, that's on you. Everybody's got their problems, right? But sir, it's $200,000. I've worked here. 18 years, yeah, you said. So? He stepped closer, voice rising. You think seniority gets you perks? You're a janitor, Loretta. Your job's mopping floors. Not getting special treatment. The silence in the cafeteria was heavy. Maybe. Maurice went on, cruelly, if you'd studied instead of popping out 3 kids, you'd have a decent salary and could afford private care. Ever think of that? Or is it easier to whine and beg for handouts? Richard stood from his chair. Mr. Maurice, this is... you. Maurice pointed at him. Newbie already mouthing off. Sit down and shut up before I fire you right now. But... I said sit. Richard sat, fists clenched. Every fiber wanted to shout the truth, reveal who he was, and fire that monster on the spot. But Mike was right, he needed to see how far this went. Needed hard proof. Loretta left the room crying quietly. No one moved. No one spoke. Fear hung thick. In the days that followed, things got worse. Maurice, maybe sensing he'd gone too far, doubled down instead of backing off. Attention, attention. He blared over the intercom. Effective today, all coffee breaks are cancelled. 15 minutes wasted per person, times 50 employees, is lost work hours. Drink water in the bathroom if you have to. Employee lockers closing for renovations. No renovations happened, Richard learned later. Use the public mall restrooms instead. New uniforms only issued when the old ones are completely shot. And completely means ripped. Stains and wear don't count. Each new rule was another humiliation. And Maurice seemed to relish the power. Richard did what he could quietly. Anonymously transferred money to Loretta's account, she tried to return it, thinking it was a bank error. Documented every abuse. Recorded conversations. Photographed unsafe conditions. But the breaking point was still coming. How far does cruelty go when someone's got power over those who can't fight back? And more importantly, how far does our silence go when we see injustice but fear the fallout of speaking up? The important investors visit was set for a Friday. Richard overheard in the cafeteria gossip that they weren't real investors, just Morris's rich buddies he wanted to impress. Sylvia, I want this place flawless. Maurice barked. No lazy staff in sight. Got it? During the visit, everybody hides in the back. I don't want my guests seeing this rabble. And the executive parking? Sylvia asked. Oh, yeah. Loretta. He looked around. Loretta. Get over here. Loretta approached, clearly exhausted. Amanda had started treatment through Medicaid, but the waits, the lines, the neglect, it was taking its toll. She'd lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Yes, Mr. Maurice? I want you scrubbing the executive lot. On your knees, with a brush. I want to see my reflection in the pavement. But sir, I cleaned it yesterday. And I'm ordering it redone. With a brush. He tossed an old scrub brush at her feet. Start now. Guests arrive in an hour. Richard, fixing a nearby outlet, couldn't stay quiet. Mr. Maurice, she already cleaned it. It's spotless. Nobody asked you, Silva. In fact. A cruel smile formed on Morris's face, you'll help her. Both of you on your knees. I want that lot shining. If it's not perfect, you're both fired. Loretta touched Richard's arm. Let it go, kid. I'll do it. You don't have to. No. Richard grabbed the brush. We'll do it together. Maurice laughed. How touching. The idiot and the old lady, teaming up. This'll make a great story for the group chat. An hour later, under the scorching 11 a.m. sun, Richard and Loretta were on their knees in the parking lot, scrubbing already clean concrete. Backs ached. Knees burned against the hot asphalt. "You didn't have to do this," Loretta whispered. "Now he'll come after you too." "I don't care." "You should. You've got a future, Richard. Young, smart. Don't burn it for me." "Loretta." Richard stopped scrubbing, looked at her. "You're one of the most amazing people I've ever met. And if there's one thing I've learned these weeks is that..." The sound of luxury cars interrupted. 3 Mercedes pulled up. From one stepped a man in a white suit, sunglasses, the air of someone who'd never worked a day. Maurice rushed over, fawning. "Fernando. Great to have you." "Maurice, you bastard." They clapped each other on the back. "So this your operation?" "Just a slice. Come on, I'll show you." Maurice gestured grandly. As they passed, Fernando eyed Richard and Loretta on their knees. "Whoa, folks working out here?" "Oh, just the..." Maurice hesitated, "the cleaning crew. They let it get dirty, so I ordered manual correction." "Ha ha ha. Good call. Gotta keep the little people in line, huh?" Fernando grabbed his coffee cup and, in a move as casual as it was cruel, deliberately dumped it on Loretta. The hot liquid soaked her uniform. "Oops. More work for you, sweetheart. That's what you're good for, right?" Laughter. Patricia, trailing the group, pulled out her phone. "Lemme get this on video for the group chat." "Too funny." Loretta said nothing. Just bowed her head, wiping the coffee with her own sleeve. And something snapped in Richard. He stood slowly. Very slowly. "Mr. Taylor." His voice wasn't the humble tone of Richard Silva anymore. It was the firm, controlled, lethal voice of Richard Hayes. CEO. Billionaire. The man who made decisions moving millions. "Are you absolutely sure you want to keep this up?" Maurice frowned. "What did you say? You questioning me? I'm giving you one last chance." "Chance?" Maurice exploded. "Who the hell do you think you are? You're a nobody. A loser. I can ruin your life with one call." Richard slowly removed his dusty safety glasses. Took off the ratty cap. Stared Maurice down, fearless, unwavering. "One call? Interesting." He pulled out his phone, not the cheap burner of Richard Silva, but his personal iPhone kept in an inner pocket. "Let me make one too." You can't be." Maurice started paling. Richard dialed. On speaker. "Mike? Code Red, Elite Plaza Mall. Activate legal, audit, and IT. Full system lockdown, now. Emergency board meeting at 6 p.m. Yeah. In person. Who's Mike?" Maurice stammered. "My personal assistant of 10 years. Richard pocketed the phone. "Maurice Taylor, allow me to introduce myself properly, Richard Hayes. CEO and majority shareholder of the corporation that, until exactly right now, paid your salary." The silence was total. Fernando stepped back. Patricia nearly dropped her phone. Doug, nearby, stopped breathing. Sylvia tried to slip away quietly, but 2 corporate security guards, the real ones, already dispatched, blocked the exit. This is bullshit." Maurice tried to rally. "You're Silva, the maintenance grunt." "I was. For 3 months. 3 months watching you turn the most profitable branch into a torture chamber." Richard paced like a predator. 3 months documenting every abuse. Every skim. Every needless cruelty. Skim? I didn't. Shell companies tied to your family getting consulting fees. $2.3 million over 5 years. Audits got it all. Richard pointed at Patricia. And you filmed the harassment. Perfect. Evidence. Patricia frantically deleted the video. Too late. IT's already backed up every system. Richard eyed Doug. Tried wiping files 10 minutes ago. Didn't work either. Mr. Hayes. Doug dropped to his knees. Please. I got a family. Funny. When old Joe said that, you laughed. Richard's voice held no mercy. Get up. You don't deserve to beg on your knees. He turned to Maurice. Maurice Taylor, Patricia Reynolds, Doug Ferguson, Sylvia Costa, you're all fired for cause. Criminal charges for workplace harassment, embezzlement, and racketeering start today. Security, escort these people out. Immediately. You can't. Maurice lunged, but 2 guards held him. I got rights. I'll sue you. Your lawyer's gonna be too busy keeping you out of jail. Richard took a folder Mike had just handed him. He'd arrived discreetly. Contracts. Evidence. Witnesses. 3 years of parallel investigation that started when employees began complaining. You think you're clever, Maurice? You're just predictable. Maurice was dragged away, howling empty threats. Patricia sobbed. Doug begged. Sylvia fainted. When silence returned, Richard turned to Loretta. She was still on her knees, in shock, coffee staining her uniform. Richard extended a hand. Ms. Loretta, please, stand up. She took it, trembling. I'm someone who spent 3 months learning what really matters in a company. He smiled, genuine. And learning mostly from you. I don't get it. You will. Richard faced all the employees who'd emerged from hiding, witnessing everything. Attention, everyone. Ms. Loretta is promoted to Supervisor of Ethics and Company Culture for this branch, executive salary of $15,000 a month, effective immediately. Stunned silence. But I ain't got no degree. Loretta whispered. You've got 18 years watching what not to do. Ethics no business school teaches. Empathy every leader should have. Richard took her hands. And about Amanda, full treatment covered by the top company plan. Private oncologist, MD Anderson Cancer Center, starts Monday. All costs paid by the corporation. Loretta collapsed. Not in a faint. In tears. Years of humiliation, worry, fear, all pouring out at once. Richard hugged her. You deserve it, Loretta. Always have. If you had the power to change someone's life who's been overlooked by the system, would you? Or think, not my problem? That difference defines the world we build together. In the months that followed, the transformation at Hayes Corporation was radical, starting with the elite Plaza Mall branch, now renamed Dignity Branch, in honor of what happened there. Morris's trial was swift. With overwhelming evidence, he took a plea, 4 years in prison, full restitution of the $2.3 million embezzled, and lifetime community service. Patricia lost her HR certification and never worked in the field again. Doug and Sylvia, in plea deals, spilled more schemes, but their corporate careers ended there, with permanent criminal records. Mr. Hayes? Loretta entered his office, her office too now, an executive suite on the same floor. She still wasn't used to the change. Need to talk about the Hidden Talents program. Richard smiled. That was Loretta's brainchild. Any employee, any level, could suggest operational improvements. Best ideas got implemented, creators promoted. How's it going? Got 247 proposals in 2 months. She opened the folder, proud. The best? From old Joe in security. He came up with a rotating shift system that cut costs 12% but boosted guard satisfaction 78%. Genius. Promote him. Already did. Security Operations Coordinator. $3,000 raise. Loretta laughed. He cried like I did. Said at 62, he thought his future was set in stone. Everybody's got a future, Loretta. Sometimes we just block the way. She got serious. Richard, can I ask something? Sure. Why'd you do all this? The disguise, living like us, taking the humiliation. You could have just hired auditors. Richard leaned back in his chair. My dad said a leader who doesn't know his troops is a tyrant with a fancy title. I spent 38 years being that tyrant, Loretta. Rich, powerful, but totally disconnected from the 15,000 people propping up my empire. And now? Now I know the names. The stories. I know Mrs. Vera in the cafeteria has arthritis but keeps working 'cause she loves making those snacks that brighten everybody's day. I know Jonas in IT's a self-taught genius who never got a shot 'cause no degree. I know. He looked at her, that Loretta's one of the strongest, wisest women I've met. Loretta wiped a tear. Stop. You'll make me cry again. How's Amanda? Her face lit up. 3rd round of chemo. Docs are optimistic. She wants to meet you. Says you're her guardian angel. I'm no angel. Just did what was right. Richard, you saved my daughter. You changed my life. You. She took a deep breath, you gave me dignity. First time in 18 years, I ain't just the janitor. I'm somebody. You always were, Loretta. I just made the world see it. 6 months later, the 1 month in the trenches policy rolled out company-wide. Every executive at Hayes Corporation had to work 1 month a year in operational roles. Initial pushback was huge. This is humiliating, one VP griped. No. Richard was firm. Humiliation is mistreating folks in those roles. Humiliation is thinking you're better 'cause you get paid more. This is empathy. Learn it or leave. The VP left. 3 others too. But most stayed. And changed. Results spoke, turnover dropped 87% in a year. Productivity up 34%. Customer satisfaction skyrocketed. Hayes Corporation became best place to work per national surveys. Harvard Business School wanted to case study it. Loretta got invited as a speaker. Her first talk, to 500 U.S. executives, was simple: I mopped floors for 18 years. And you know what I learned? The dirtiest floor ain't the one with stains. It's the hearts of folks who think they're better just 'cause they were born with more money. Dignity can't be bought. Respect ain't inherited. Character ain't in a diploma. It's in how you treat folks who can't give you nothing back. 5-minute standing ovation. 2 years after that parking lot day, Loretta hosted a special event, opening of the Amanda Foundation, Hope Against Childhood Cancer. With a $10 million kickstart from Hayes Corporation, the foundation provided free oncology care for low-income workers' kids. Amanda, now 18 and in full remission, cut the ribbon beside her mom. You okay, Mom? Amanda whispered. Better than okay, baby. Finally. Loretta looked around, at Richard, who'd brought Anna, a public school teacher he was engaged to, at former co-workers now promoted, at the entrance plaque, here, every child is our child. Ms. Loretta. A reporter approached. How's it feel to be the woman who sparked the biggest corporate shakeup of the decade? I didn't spark nothing. I was just me, a honest worker trying to get by. She smiled. Richard saw the value in that. Credit's his. I disagree. Richard stepped up. Credit's yours for never losing your humanity even when the system tried to strip it away. That night, home alone, Loretta opened a drawer and pulled an old photo. Her in janitor uniform, 18 years back, first day on the job. Smiling, full of hope. "We did it, Loretta," she said to the photo. "You didn't quit. Look where we ended up." Amanda poked her head in. "Mom, talking to yourself again?" "Yeah, baby. Just giving thanks." "For what?" Loretta hugged her daughter. "For surviving. For holding on to my dignity when they tried to take it. For meeting folks who see soul, not title." She gazed out the window, nice view, bought condo, stable life. "And for you being here, alive, healthy. Everything else is bonus." Final epilogue. At the Dignity Branch entrance, a bronze plaque, a company's character shows in how it treats those who can't give anything back. This place was built on that truth, learned the hard way. May we never forget. Richard Hayes Sr. and Jr. Maurice, after serving 2.5 years in a halfway house, scraped by as a freelance consultant. Low pay, ruined rep, marriage over. At a networking event, he saw Loretta on stage, keynote speaker, standing ovation. He tried approaching after. "Ms. Loretta." "I." She looked at him. No anger. No grudge. Just the weariness of someone who's hurt too much. "Mr. Taylor, I forgave you. For me, not you. Holding hate was poisoning my soul." She turned to leave, paused. "But forgiveness don't erase consequences. You wrecked lives thinking power gave you the right. Now live with it. Hope one day you learn what I always knew, nobody's better than anybody. We're all equal before God and life." She walked away. Maurice stood frozen, finally getting, too late, the difference between power and character. Richard, watching from afar, took Anna's hand. "Ready to meet the Northeast Branch staff? Our month in the trenches starts Monday." "Born ready." "And Richard?" "Yeah. Thanks for being you. Someone who used privilege to uplift, not crush. Learned from the best. From Loretta. From Joe. From Vera." He eyed the entrance plaque. "From my dad, who tried teaching me and I took too long to listen." 5 years on, Hayes Corporation was a global model. Loretta an international speaker. Amanda a oncology med grad. Richard a dad to 2 kids learning respect ain't a perk, it's a universal right. And at the branch where it all started, workers arrived early not from fear, but pride. 'Cause there, finally, work had dignity. And dignity, they learned, ain't for sale. Final reflection question, and you? If you had the power to change someone's overlooked reality, would you, even if it cost your temporary comfort? Or is empathy only easy when it don't demand sacrifice? More important, how many Lorettas are around you, invisible, waiting for someone to see their worth? And how many Maurices thrive 'cause good folks with character rarely speak up against them? Change don't start with big moves. It starts when we choose to see humanity where society taught us to see just a job. What world are you building with your daily choices? This story's about dignity, empathy, and the transformative power of seeing value where others see invisibility. May it inspire you to be the Richard the world needs, or the Loretta who never gives up her humanity, no matter how hard they try to steal it.